$18 million is a pretty good payday for being laughed at and mocked. Everything you want is on the other side of cringe. Now I'm going to ask you a few questions. Would you pay $18,000 to go to an alpha male bro boot camp? Would you rip your shirt off like Hulk Hogan at a sales conference? Would you buy relabeled generic supplements from roided out meatheads? The answer is maybe, and it's all because of the power of cringe. Because last night I was on the couch reading my latest Star Wars book, and I had a huge revelation. If no one is cringing, no one is buying. And today you're going to learn the 4 reasons people buy from cringy alpha males and the 3 takeaways you can use in your business no matter how beta you are. So before we go further, what is an alpha male bro? It's this crop of over-the-top, hyper-masculine dudes with giant beards, tattoos, testosterone replacement therapy. You know what I'm talking about. And they use phrases like high-value man and alpha male without a hint of irony. And what is cringe? Cringe is a feeling of secondhand embarrassment when you see somebody doing something awkward or weird. Cringe comes in many forms, like when someone is too confident in their abilities, when they make a weird joke that doesn't land, or they're just trying way too hard to be funny or stand out. But the willingness to be cringy is a superpower. In fact, I'm going to make 2 confessions. Number 1 is the reason my YouTube videos suck so much is that they're not cringy enough. I'm serious. Because the thing about cringy people is that they are brave. They put themselves out there. They risk social judgment. I think I play it too safe. But what does this have to do with alpha male bros? Well, alpha male bros are cringe, but they don't apologize for it, which means they have a superpower that I want. And let's be real. That's a huge reason they get hate. They put themselves out there in a way that would scare 99.99% of people. So in a way, they deserve some respect, and I'm not making fun of them, because ultimately, being cringy in public is a sign of high status, because there's nothing more attractive than someone who doesn't care what other people think. And here's the odd thing about cringe. It's a mirror. The things that make you cringe just might reveal something about you. If you cringe at somebody showing off their muscles or their new diamond-covered Rolex or their new yellow Lambo, maybe you're jealous. Do you ever think about that? So that leads me to confession number 2. When I was in my 20s, in my financial writing days, there was a guy I absolutely fucking hated. And I used to cringe every time I saw him on TV or when he would make a wild, bold prediction that came true. And you want to know why? I was jealous. I wanted to be on TV. I wanted to be bolder. So my brain decided that he was cringe and I was smart. I was smarter than him. Reality, I was a coward and I was jealous of him. I was a hater. But let's go back to the marketing talk. So my entire marketing philosophy is based around the idea of polarity, negative versus positive. I write bold messages that push away the negative and attract the positive, because the more your message repels the wrong people, the more it attracts the right people. So let's go back to the $18,000 alpha male boot camp, which was called the Modern Day Night Project. The project put people through a series of physical and emotional challenges to give them toughness, leadership, and purposes. Basically, become more of an alpha male. Based on the website, it's no longer being sold, but we can still learn from it. Now, this alpha male boot camp made millions of people cringe. We saw videos of grown men being ordered around and yelled at. But it's a classic case of there's no such thing as bad publicity, because for whatever reason, a tiny percentage of men will watch something like that and say, yeah, you know what? I want to do that. And if 1,000 people say yes, that's $18 million freaking dollars. $18 million is a pretty good payday for being laughed at and mocked. Plus, I'm 99% sure they closed out that program with a sales pitch for something else like one-to-one coaching. So who knows? Maybe they cleared $30 million, $40 million. Now, why would people buy something like that? We're going to go through the 3 reasons. Reason number 1 is transformation is a powerful selling point, especially to men. The Modern Night Project's headline says, "Your family deserves the best version of you as a leader, husband, and father." They also say you're suffering in silence and pushing through life and business. Some days you're barely holding it together. A transformation from being a victim to being a leader appeals to a lot of men. Reason number 2, lots of men have what I call a Navy SEAL fantasy. Only 20% of people make it through Navy SEAL training, and a lot of men think they'd be in that 20%, and they want just a little taste of what it's like. Maybe they just want to test themselves, see if they can do it. Reason number 3 is some men feel modern society is feminized, so ultra-masculine activities feel like counterculture. It's a form of rebellion. Reason number 4, closely related, they want to feel more manly. The alpha male bro types are very over the top in how they dress and present themselves, but the average guy can look at them and say, I don't want to be like that guy, but I do know I need to step up in some way. It's like hiring a bodybuilder as your personal trainer. You don't want to look just like him. You just want to move in his direction. It's classic thinking past the sale. If people are asking, how alpha do I want to be? They are halfway towards buying. Now, you're probably asking the most obvious question in the entire world. Is an $18,000 boot camp that lasts 75 hours overpriced? Is it just a big old scam? Let me know down in the comments what you think, because my reaction might surprise you. The Modern Day Night Project got a lot of hate, but I'm going to say I don't know, because I am not the target market. I have no interest in doing anything like that. The thing is, as long as people know what they're getting into and the refund policy is clear, I don't see any real problems with it. And the reality is that all personal development programs are cringy in their own way. They always have these bizarre rituals and secret rules and buzzwords that look nuts to 99% of the population. Plus, you have to remember, there are a lot of men with shocking amounts of money, and they might want a taste of some Navy SEAL fantasy they've had since they played Call of Duty 20 years ago, so it might be worth it to them. Now, since you've made it this far into the video, let me introduce myself. My name is Michael Kamau, and I'm a New York-based marketing consultant. I teach simple, powerful strategies that help you make more money and have happier customers through superior messaging. And if you've been enjoying this video, do me a huge favor and give it a like. It really helps me out. Another question you might ask is, did people feel ripped off? Now, this is very tricky. You have to remember the psychological principle of consistency. That's the desire to be consistent with past behavior and beliefs. I found that the more someone pays for something, the more they like and appreciate it. And in my experience with high-end live events, both as a marketer and attendee, the satisfaction rate goes as follows. 75% of people love it and say it changed their lives. 15% of people like it but weren't blown away. 5% don't like it, and 5% absolutely hated it. I would not be surprised if most people that ponied up $18K for this thing actually loved it, and they're telling stories about how meaningful it was to them. So what are the takeaways for your marketing here? Number 1, let the wrong people cringe and think you're an idiot. Go overboard in your messaging. Put yourself out there. Be bold. Make that cheesy video you can't get out of your head. Use that headline you're afraid will offend people, and let the chips fall where they may. The alpha male bros do this to a T, and it's why they succeed. It's cringy to show off Lambos and pictures of yourself smoking cigars. But the people who cringe and complain spread the word like wildfire, which lowers your cost of customer acquisition. It's simple math. Number 2, measure positive results versus negative reactions. The best marketing generates 2 things at the same time. Number 1 is sales. Number 2 is negative reactions, like people making fun of you or telling your products suck. You know why? Because your message was so bold and it was so interesting that everyone had to take a stand. They couldn't ignore it. That means you are resonating. Just make sure you know your numbers. This is very, very important. It's possible to generate lots of attention, lots of outrage, and make no money, and that's just stupid. Number 3, do not bend the knee. My best sales pages have always generated lots of sales, but also lots of complaints. In fact, if no one is pushing back, I get worried real fast, because it usually means the words aren't resonating. I've had clients tell me, people are emailing in and they're saying this headline is crazy and stupid. Can you change it? And I'll have to explain, we're appealing to buyers, not trying to please the outraged masses. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, do me a big favor, hit that like button and leave a comment, and I hope you subscribe, because my next video will teach you how to divide and conquer with polarizing messages. But if you want to be a beta male and not subscribe, that's okay too. I'll see you later.